Okay, so here I have gone ahead to iron. I've gone ahead to iron the bustier area, and I opened up the seam to iron it, and I played stay on it to keep it open so that the back will be this neat. Look at the cuff area looking so cute, and it's standing on its own. All of this, it's just too good. Okay, all right, so it came out really good. And I've also ironed the lower bodies as well, the dart areas and stuff. Okay, so that's for that. So now I'm going to go ahead and start joining. I'm going to go ahead and start joining the lining piece to the lining piece and the main fabric to the main fabric. So for this front lower bodies, I'm going to be joining it, sewing it to the upper bodies. Just going to run a stitch and join them, and do the same thing for the back pieces as well, because I've also ironed all of them, and the upper bodies I've ironed all of them. So I'm going to go ahead and do this, and then for the yoke of this design we're making, I'm going to be altering this original yoke we drafted during our drafting, and I'm going to be using it to create our new yoke that we need. The yoke is quite like a band. Okay, so I'm just going to be transferring this yoke to another pattern, and I'm not transferring everything. So what I need is about 2 inches on both sides. I need like 2 inches from here to here. So the 2 inches is going to go from here, from the side up to the inside, up to the, and then I'm going to have it draw a straight line for it to match. Okay, so I'm going to be placing this here, pin it down, and then take out the part of it that I need by retracing it on the main fabric. So I have 2 inches here. This is the 2 inches. So I'm going to be marking out these 2 inches, and then from here I'll take in 2 inches as well. So I'm going to be taking this down like so, and I'm going to be tracing it out. So this is the side of the yoke, so we can take this out. So I'm going to use my straight ruler to connect this line. So this is the back, and this is the down part. You have to indicate this so that it will be clear. Okay, so this is the down part, the D, and this is the back yoke. Okay, and then for the front, I'm going to repeat the same thing. Pin it down, and then I'll use my blue pen for this one to trace it. So you're going to take your 2 inches as well. This is 2 inches. Then I'll come here and I'll take up 2 inches as well. So this is the 2 inches, and I'm marking this. So I'm just going to take it out and connect the marks. So this is it. So this is the front, and this place is the down part. Okay, so I'm going to cut out this. So this, so this is it. This is the back and the front yoke. Okay, and we're going to be using the this lace fabric to sew it, and this lace fabric will also be our sleeve length. Okay, our sleeve. So what I'm going to do now is, so now I'm going to cut out the sleeve using this. I'm going to fold it into 4. So I'm going to be cutting with 1 inch on the side for sewing allowance, and then 1/2 inch on the top for the joining, and then I am going to be leaving 1 inch down here for folding the hem, for the hemming. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and cut this out. Okay, so now I'm going to open this. And I'm going to differentiate between the front and the back. So I'm going to use my marker to indicate where the front and the back is. This is important. Okay, so this is our sleeve. And then we also need to cut out a lace piece, the Ankara piece we're going to be placing on top of the sleeve to design the sleeve. Okay, so I'm going to transfer this pattern here as well. So I'll open this as well and take out the difference between the front and the back. So the pattern is still intact. Now I am going to trace this out. Now this is the front. Here is the back, sorry. And this is the front. Okay, next I am going to be opening up this. I'm going to do a little bit of slash and spread. This is because we don't want we only want the end to be like this, but the down part is going to be wide, like excessively wide. Okay, so to do that, I'm just going to follow lines. This straight line is here. I will open it up, and then open a couple more. Just basically make straight lines that are going to be altered. And so I'm going to cut these lines open very close to the end. So to add more fullness to the sleeve, we can open these places up, extend the sleeve so that the sleeve will have the kind of fullness we want at the end. So I have the pattern. I have opened up the pattern, and the more we open it, the more the fullness the dress is going to have. So just like I did for the main fabric, for the other sleeve, I'm going to be adding my 1 inch sewing allowance. I'm going to be adding half an inch at the top here for joining it to the bodice. And then the 1 inch sewing allowance here as well. Now for this part, I'm going, because of the effect I'm trying to create, I am going to be needed to increase this place a little bit. I'm extending the pattern by 1 inch, and from the 1 inch I'm adding, I'm going to be using half an inch to add the lace piece we are going to be using to extend the flare when we are sewing it. And so the original length of the sleeve, this top sleeve, is 6.5 inches. And then we've added 1 inch to it, which means what I'm cutting now is the two of them together because we opened the sleeve completely. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and cut it out. Okay, I'm going to come up and then make a loose stitch up to 1 inch upwards. Make a loose stitch straight towards that 1 inch, and then at that loose stitch, that is where I am going to be gathering it to give the effect we are trying to create on this. Okay, so you can make this as full as you want. You can even extend it, make it more wider than this. However you want to do it, is to get you the same effects. Okay, so I'm going to take out these pins now. You also have to indicate that this is the front because we'll be returning it to the bodies like that. This side is the front. Okay, so now I'm going to be marking out 2 inches up, half an inch for joining the lace piece, while the other 1.5 inch will be for the loose stitch we are going to gather afterwards. Please don't do this on the right side of the fabric. These markings are on the wrong side of the fabric. Okay, so I'm going to be taking out half an inch. What I need is actually 1.5 inch, not 2 inches. So I'm going to be taking out half an inch all the way from here, and then I am going to be taking the measurement of that length. Okay, so this 1.5 inch I've ruled here. I am going to be sewing a loose stitch on this line that I'm going to pull to gather it to give us the effect we are trying to create. I'm going to do the same thing here, and then I will cut in the lace piece as well. So I'm going to measure this place. What I have here is I have 23 inches, so I'm going to be cutting a straight piece for the lace. Okay, so I need 23 inches length and then 3 inches width, because I'm going to be using 1 inch to fold it in, so we can have like 2 inches left. Okay, so I'm using half an inch to join it to the sleeve. Okay, so in the end what I need like 4 inches. I'm going to be marking out 4 inches. Okay, so I have the full length here. So this, I'm going to go over this from the right side. Okay, I am going to be sewing this to this. So where is the right side of this? I'm going to be sewing this. I'm going to be attaching this with 1 inch all the way to here. I'm going to use half an inch to join this to this, and then I'm going to be hemming the lace piece, and then we will now match a loose stitch on this line I have drawn in the inside, and that line will be for us to gather the sleeve. Okay, so let's get to the machine and do that part.